Hello, fabulous superstar Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. It will be on the 4th of the month that we have this month's full moon. Now, this full moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with money you earn, money you spend. Self-esteem and self-worth are covered here as well. And so there is an important financial focus this month, not just with this full moon, but the new moon 2 weeks later that I'll talk about in just a moment. This full moon is speaking in supreme harmony with Chiron and with Mars, forming a larger, supremely harmonious configuration called a grand trine in fire. So I love this energy for you, I have to say. It is very proactive. It is very empowering. It's energy of blessings as well. It encourages you to take action to move in the direction you desire to go, especially where it comes to your wealth. Chiron is moving through a part of the sky for you that has to do with your daily life. It has to do with the work you do. It is Mars moving through the top of your sky, having to do with career and life purpose. So all of these areas, the money you earn and spend, career and work, are coming together beautifully so at this time. However, Saturn is making a more challenging connection with this full moon. And that suggests a need to be prudent, a need to be mindful of restrictions that may be there, a need to be honest as well. Saturn can sometimes suggest limitations. It can suggest a need to hold back, that it would be wise to do so. Considering that Saturn is in a part of the sky for you that has to do with fun and what is fun for you, well, I do think a likely scenario here is that you may feel as if there's something you really want to do, you think it'll be really fun to do, or your heart feels called to do, but you're trying to make sure that the financial piece is there, that the money is coming together, whether that has to do with something that you feel very guided by heart that you hope will make you money, or whether it is that you want the money to spend on what it is that's fun for you to do. Now, the great thing with squares is they denote activity, putting in time so that you can make gains. And again, there's all that protective energy from the grand trine in fire. It tells me that there is faith, but also real opportunity to create more prosperity that could find you now. Navigating forward, the 18th of the month is when we have this month's new moon. That new moon happens in a part of the sky that has to do with access to resources, including financial resources. It has to do with an ability to access funding from banks, for example, or scholarships or credit cards, organizations like that. It has to do with accessing benefits you may qualify for as well. This part of the sky also correlates to profound change and profound truth. Your sign has a natural affinity with these very areas of life now. Well, here's the thing. This new moon is speaking in a conversation of tension with Neptune, but also making a surprise and quick moving alignment with Pluto, your modern ruling planet. And all of this does suggest that you may feel like you need to pay attention to this area of life. It's almost like there's a sense of wanting to transform things, wanting certain outcomes, being focused on them. At the same time, though, it feels kind of nebulous. It feels kind of uncertain. And just when you think you know, you may realize that you really don't. You may have a feeling of maybe not being as secure as you would like. The thing to remember is with the full moon and this new moon, when we have such strong financial energy, it means that the money you need is there. Sometimes you have to do a little bit more, learn some things about yourself as part of navigating this time to have it come together, but it can come together for you. And so this energy could suggest a few different things. So it's a new moon, which brings new opportunity or fresh beginnings. One more positive way to understand this energy is this could be a time when you finally pay off a significant loan, like a student loan, for example, pay off a credit card. And that allows you that feeling of a fresh beginning, but it may feel as if you're, really digging deep, or pulling it out sort of at the last minute to make that final payment, or maybe it feels like there's a balloon payment that needs to be made, and you're feeling very focused on having that come together. So that's a more positive interpretation. Another is being worried about paying a particular bill. And I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. Let me say this. Something I heard Eckhart Tolle say on Oprah years and years ago. It was life changing to me. He said, you don't have to worry about your bills. You have to pay your bills, but you don't have to worry about them. And I know that's not going to apply for a whole lot of Scorpios out there, but it might for some. And so I am going to encourage you to, if you find yourself in that space, you don't have to worry about it. You have to pay it, and you will. Again, when we have such strong financial energy, it means that the money you need is there. The other way this energy might play out, again, being very straightforward with you here, that idea of fun, given where Neptune is, the same part of the sky that Saturn is in, something you really want to do. You're trying to access the funding so that you can do it. You feel called to do it. You feel like you're passionate about it. Or maybe, again, it's just something you think is going to bring you joy. Having it come together may be part of the hustle, or the way in which you're trying to make it come together is part of the work of this time. Now, outside of that, this can also be correlated to profound change, profound truth. And so it's a very emotional part of the sky where you're recognizing what meaningful change could entail, but also not really knowing the way forward. Again, there's a nebulousness around this time, and yet a determination to experience profound change that'll have you taking action. You will figure out your way forward, and the best way forward for you. Now, there is a profound saving grace energy playing out at this time as well that I'm very encouraged by. It perfects the day after the new moon, and yet it's operational because it's a slow moving energy between Saturn and Jupiter. As part of the larger Jupiter transit of Jupiter in your opposite sign, this is such a lovely energy when these two planets speak in harmony. It looks like you know the right person. You can have a conversation, a one on one interaction. Either you're making sense of what's going on with that new moon, personally, how to engage the energy consciously, or you're getting more professional advice that's helping you to navigate this time. Either way, it gives you hope and a sense of possibility that is grounded and mature, that can lead to lasting positive results. So it becomes that much more important to share your journey with others, partners in your life, and one on one alliances. Now, speaking of Jupiter, another high point of the larger Jupiter transit that we're in the early times of, well, that has to do with what's happening right out of the gate on the 1st of June. Jupiter and the North Node are going to meet in your opposite sign. This energy is operational for the first days of this month. And so it would behoove you to strive to meet as many people as possible. This really is the universe trying to facilitate connections for you that ultimately might just be a seed moment. It is a very beginning, a start, if you will. And sometimes it's evident very soon. Sometimes it takes a little time to really flesh out the nuances, but in the fullness of time, you may be able to look back and realize that it was now in the first days of June that the very beginning of key connections took place that ultimately opened up all kinds of doors for you personally and professionally as you navigated forward from here. And so it isn't necessarily about the instant connection with others, but allowing pathways for the universe to present you with all kinds of people that in some way can be part of your future happiness, success, opportunity, and love as well. Now, where it comes to matters of love, I'm going to put Jupiter aside for a little bit, although these key contacts and connections absolutely can play out in the context of love. And I'll be here every month to talk to you about it as we move through these transits here on YouTube every week in the superstar space, and with special horoscopes as well on my website and there in the superstar space as well. Now, having said that, Jupiter, wonderful energy, a larger trend of love improving overall for all Scorpios, which is great. But I thought that you guys probably are going to want me to talk about, or at least mention, the fact that ahead of a special coming, Venus retrograde season is almost upon us. And it is on the 5th of this month that Venus will enter the top of your sky, having to do with career, but also having to do with your understanding of what you're really going for in a higher sense where it comes to love. And it has to do with respect. Love and respect become intimately tied. Now, right out of the gate, on the 5th of June, with Pluto immediately standing across the sky from Venus, there may very well feel as if there is a lack of respect of some kind in the context of love. And I'm sorry to say, but it does happen. Now, that could be you feeling that or someone else feeling that, but it's part of the consideration of this time. However, it isn't going to be until we get to the 20th of this month that Venus will enter shadow. Next month, the 23rd of July, is when Venus goes retro. It is going to be Venus that stays retrograde until the first days of September. During the first days of September, Venus will return to where she is at the end of this month. And that is when you may see the events of late this month in the context of love differently in some way. And of course, this could also play out in terms of you loving your career or not as well. It is then in the first days of September that Venus goes direct, and the first days of October when Venus will leave shadow. When we get to right around the 4th of October, that is when Venus will be where she will be right around July 23rd. So again, I'm going to walk through this with you as we go along, and in special horoscopes, monthly horoscopes, weekly superstar horoscopes, of course. But I wanted to give you an overview now because I know this is a big transit. A lot of us have had our eye on this. And given how important a transit this is for you, not just in your current context in love, but these are the types of lessons in love that will stay with you well after this transit is over. Another thing I do want to mention, if I'm being very straightforward with you, this Venus retrograde season, the larger season, is probably going to be a bit of a doozy. Okay. I said it. I'm letting you know right now, it's a bit of a doozy. We've got challenging alignments to Venus and Uranus, Venus and Neptune, Venus and Pluto. Yeah, it's a doozy. Big karmic events that feel uncomfortable in the moment, but have something honest about it. Our hopes getting all mixed up with what truth it is that we are realizing now. And so for you, because of so much of this having to do with the big picture, your understanding of what you're going for in a larger sense in the context of love, just know that these lessons are valuable and they are going to encourage you to own your space, to own your right to be respected, because you absolutely do. And where you have that, well, this can be a time of acceleration. Where it is that you really are looking forward, well, getting honest about what that means can be part of the energy of this larger transit as well. So again, I'll be here to walk it with you as we go along, but I wanted to mention it now, and do pay attention to what's happening right around the 20th. You will see it differently when we get to the first days of September. Okay, having said all that, as Venus steps into a brand new part of the sky, The first and immediate alignment is going to be with Pluto opposite that Venus. And so that's your modern ruling planet. This is a real moment of truth and intensity set to take place in the context of love. For those of you open to meeting someone new, well, look, this could play out in terms of someone who is in a position of authority or someone who has achieved something that you admire. And so there may be a key interaction or attraction here that happens for you, but this energy can get messy very quickly. So as irresistible as love and attraction may feel at this time, pace yourself and be yourself, as I like to say. I would say strive for new connections as much as possible, but also allow them to unfold in their own time. Tap into the best of that Jupiterian energy, and you'll find yourself moving towards partnership rather than just a moment of very strong feelings. But again, it's always up to you to decide what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. For those of you just starting to date someone, what a remarkable time this can be. In the context of dating, there can be a real acceleration in your understanding of the connection you have with this person, but also how respected you feel or not. It's almost like there's a moment of a lot of emotion that gets things very clear. Either this person is going to invite you to see how much respect they have for you, to respect yourself more, and it leaps the two of you towards a stronger connection. Or you're going to see something this person does differently, and it's going to have you very aware of where there might be a lack of respect. There's not a whole lot of middle ground here. And so it's always up to you to decide what's right for you to do in light of your unique circumstances. You know, I'm always going to tell you that. But just know the energy at this time, there's something honest and intense about it. And for those of you in an established bond, well, again, honesty and intensity. If you know you have a wonderful relationship where there's a lot of respect, well, this can be a time when the two of you are wondering on shared goals that you have together, striving to either clarify them or solidify them, strengthen them. There could be a sense that there's a little bit of a wrench, if you will, in plans, and yet you will find your way forward towards greater honesty, yes, but reconfiguring the plans in a way that bonds the two of you closer together. But if there have been any issues around how respected you actually feel by your partner, all of that is going to stir very strongly as soon as we begin this 4-month transit of Venus moving through the top of your sky. And that may end up being a key theme ahead. Now, there's always the opportunity there to understand each other more deeply, to be more honest with each other as well. And there's always a chance to transform things in a way that nurtures the bond. It takes work, but at least you'll be able to see the work that needs to be done and also look at if that's work that you are up to engaging at this time. What I love about this transit for you, there's so much here. It's a valuable and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say I love the energy of this month that has to do with Jupiter. I have a feeling over the coming year, this won't be the first time I say that to you. Jupiter is the star of the show in so many ways now, and it really is about opening up all kinds of new connections for yourself, professional, personal, and otherwise. One-on-one time spent with others opens up an understanding that has an all-encompassing positive effect on your life. Connect with others. That really is the key to magic at this time in your life. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate. Now, higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.